Back at you for another one. I want to talk about this lights out situation and the imminent blackouts that are pretty much being pressed upon all kinds of people in different states. Now, specifically here today, we have California dealing with this. Over 75,000 people that we know of being told that they're going to have to conserve energy and that there's going to be rolling blackouts put into effect in their area. The question is, are you ready for such an event if you're in that area? Now, this is going to start to be more widespread than just places like California that you hear about on the news. Going into the winter, if you haven't noticed, there's a big disruption in Europe in terms of the natural gas and everything having to do with Russia. And it's all by design. And it's going to catch up here in the United States as well. So at this point, the end of summer, there's still this massive heat dome, and we've seen plenty of those across the northern hemisphere here this year. Those heat domes are causing issues as well. And it looks like there's a lot of manipulation going on in the atmosphere, if you ask me. And this is what we're facing. But I foresee this whole lights out scenario getting worse from here. I've been asking the question for a long time. Are you ready for a lights out situation? Now may be the time to take a good look at your arsenal, see what you've got in terms of your supplies. See if you've got anything that's going to get you through a prolonged lights out type of situation. Now make sure to join me on the live streams going live Monday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern on Dabu 777 here on YouTube. You'll find links below. See you guys there. Much love.
Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Here's the Akim Mahaloya coming back with another lesson. Lord's will to be edifying. What you witnessed was a video by this forecaster by the name of Dabu 7. I upload clips from him periodically, which it aids with the lessons and the teachings on biblical prophecy. It says California from Zero Hodge, which is a good source, by the way. Natural News, Zero Hodge is one of the many, well, few of the many articles that I, reference these things through the scriptures. And I believe Zero Hodge to be very edifying because it gets straight to the nitty gritty. And it basically exposes, the plans of the deep state. That ain't not true news, okay? But it says California declares grid emergency for 5th straight day. Its blackout resurges, okay? And he went into some things about the atmospheric manipulation, which he believed that, which Esau claims global warming, but we know that Esau is manipulating these events. But ultimately, it's really the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's really what it boils down to, is the spirit of the Lord. Okay, because he's behind these events and he's using the angels to do so, because we're at the end of the summer, but California has been plagued with scorching heat, which the scriptures tell you that the Lord poured out his vial, or the angel poured upon his vial on the sun, and his scorched man with heat, scorching heat. Okay, and it's been hot. It's been a very, very hot summer, especially here in the Midwest. Okay, we've barely had any rain. I want to say from last month, I believe we had a few inches of rainfall last month, but overall we haven't really had rain like that since May. Okay, because April was pretty much a late start, then it rained pretty much a lot all of May damn near, and still it wasn't enough to do away with this drought that we're having, because the next rainstorm we're gonna get is pretty much Sunday, and that's only gonna be a tad bit, because temperatures are going to go down to the 60s and 70s, and then they're going to climb back up into the upper 80s. Okay, so we know that Esau Edom is doing some foul play behind the scenes, because he's trying to manipulate the weather. Okay, and they're talking about rolling blackouts, which we're talking about now. Okay, it says blackout imminent, 75,000 powerless as record California power usage sparks demand response event, which is going to allow Esau to come in and manipulate these particular events, man, because you have what they call um, those smart meters, which I briefly hit on earlier in your transit. Smart meters basically allows them to control your temperature when they see fit. You know, they feel that you've consumed too much electricity or too much energy, then they'll go ahead and shut it off, or they will manipulate it, or they will make it like at a particular temperature of the house, of the thermostat, and it's pretty much locked in. So if they want your temperature in your home to stay 78 degrees, no matter how hot it is outside, then that's where they fix it, because you only allowed so much usage a month. Okay, so it says California power usage surged to a record high this afternoon, raising the emergency status of the state's electrical system to the highest possible level amid a blistering heat wave, which means rolling blackouts are imminent. And they're doing that. Why? Because that's their way of controlling the so-called energy. Like last year when Texas had that outage, pretty much throughout parts of the state, and it was hella cold out there, but yet they had light and power downtown Dallas. But yet in parts of Texas and the inner cities and the suburbs, people were literally starving. I mean, they were freezing to death. Okay, because you had blackouts out there. Okay, and people, they didn't have any type of heat to warm their homes. Okay, and this is another tactic of this devil, because he's getting ready to come down with great wrath. Okay, so it says this triggered a demand response event, and ISO is warning of more blackouts imminent, and the scriptures go into the 3 days of darkness, which is going to come a time that all the lights in Babylon are going to be shut off, and they're not going to come back on. Okay, because we're coming into those times of Jacob's trouble, which is beyond human, which is going to be beyond the human. It's going to be beyond what the human psyche can comprehend. Okay, we went through bouts of trouble, bouts of hell on earth, but this time that we're getting ready to enter into is going to be like no other time on the planet, or the planet has ever seen or witnessed. Okay, and a lot of people are getting ready to die. A lot of judgment is getting ready to commence from the hands of the Heavenly Father via the angels. And it says this is going to be so dicey. Michael Ward, the state of Stanford University's climate and energy policy program, said earlier in the day. It says there's a gap for 2 hours in the evening right now between the available supply and projected demand. And remember, they're facing a water shortage too, to the point that they were only able to water their lawns, I believe, like a few days a week. And they was given like a time frame, because they was literally claiming to be short on water supply, which in fact you have a huge ocean, a huge body of water. You have the largest body of water on the planet Earth, which is known as the Pacific Ocean. And you mean to tell me you were short in water? I fail to believe that, but you know, Esau is a demon. It says this farce for one of the most taxed states comes just in. Let's look up what farce means, man. Okay, farce. Farce, absurd, or it says absurdity. Okay, comic dramatic work using buffoonery and horseplay, and typically including cruel characterization and improbable situations, man. Okay, basically a phony, a fake. Okay, absurdity is absurd. And it says here, this farce for one of the most taxed states comes just 4 days after President Biden's energy secretary Jennifer Granholm praised the state's green energy policy. And we told you this guy Biden is a damn devil, man. Okay, he's a devil with dementia. Okay, but hey, 98% of you Israelites, okay, you Negro, Latino, and Native American, you went down there and you put this guy in office, which he was already selected, but the illusion of your vote is what got him in office, because your ballots, you went down to the ballots to galvanize your freedoms and so forth, to put a damn demon and a pedophile in office, which don't give a damn about you. Now you get ready to be looking stupid, because he may be the man that may put that Karak menu, you know, and I won't doubt it, because he was very adamant on that in that speech back in 2005 with Justice Roberts, when he said you will rule on that, mark my words. He was very adamant about that. So it makes sense that this thing comes full swing. But it says, Granholm said that California was leading the nation in green energy development and praised its ability to shape national energy policy, according to the interview conducted by Fox 11 in Los Angeles. But wait a minute, the Earth produces natural energies, okay, natural gases, natural lights, natural resources, ecosystems, man. But see, when you have a devil like Esau that's in power, he totally does away with the natural way of living, and he comes up with this artificial way of living. This is why everything is AI based, which is artificial intelligence. This is why everything is led through smart devices. Okay, this is why everything is led through computer algorithms. Because basically he's trying to replace the Most High, but he's doing a terrible job. And his whole technological, or his whole fourth industrial revolution is failing miserably. Okay, it's not looking too good for this devil. You know, but it says California's energy policy has currently left 75,000 Californians without power already. But haven't we told you that Biden and his administration will be the downfall of you Israelites, man? I mean, this country in general. Yeah, we talked our shit about Donald Trump, but Donald Trump kept money in your pockets, man. Okay, and you were paying literally $1.49 for gas, at least out here. Okay, and you in Cali, you was probably paying upper two. California have never seen gas prices that low since the early 90s, man. Okay, but it says, in the state's largest power company, PG&E Corporation, said in a statement that it had notified about 525,000 homes and businesses that they can lose power for up to 2 hours. And this is biblical prophecy, man. Okay, because the Most High is putting an evil spirit on this already evil man to commence more evil and more evil, which is going to result in plagues and pestilence, man. Rioting, okay, and there's already a snatch and grab culture out there in California. Okay, Jake is literally trying to get the bag by getting the bag, literally by snatching Jake. Jake's following Edomites to their homes, they beating them up, putting them out the cars, okay, knocking pastors out, man. Wish that was funny. And Jake, I think they called his ass Pastor Bling or some shit. Jake rolled up in a church and knocked them out and stole his shit, man. So iniquity is abounding, man, okay, which is sin on top of sin. But it says that they can lose power for up to 2 hours. So it says, so this is what the rest of America could look forward to. It says, but as we warned about earlier, Californians are apparently not heeding officials' warnings that they should sacrifice their comfort for the sake of whatever business or social engineering plan is the new thing. It says, CAISO shows that usage is up 13% today from yesterday at the same time of day for a second consecutive day. The state's grids operator issued a level 2 energy emergency alert, which the America's grid infrastructure, right along with their physical infrastructure with their bridges and so forth, I believe they got like a D rating, maybe C, but I know the bridges itself, they're literally at a D rating. Okay, but the grid is overloaded because, I mean, you got everybody condensed and concentrated into these metropolises, okay, which you have apartments, and then you have what they call common energy, when you have a particular apartment building and they all pretty much feed off 1 meter. So basically they have to limit the amount of usage they're bringing out, okay, because if not, then it'll pretty much be unfair to all the other tenants, and you end up paying a fucking $1,000 light bill, man. And that's one of the downfalls about living in a loft, because in a loft you have what they call a commons area, when it's like one master meter, because the meters are not divided individually. So what happens is they get one big bill, and then what happens, the realtor or the person that owns the property, he bills the tenants, okay, because just a few years ago, when you get an apartment or some lofts, basically the management company was responsible for trash, sewer, water, okay, sometimes gas, and sometimes the tenant will have to pay electricity only. But now, you paying sewer, water, part of trash, okay, gas, light, because they're throwing it all back in the consumer. And let's build a consumer, okay, and that's you people's fault, because you allowed yourself to be totally hijacked by this system.